So happy new year everyone, I hope you're all alright. I've been really excited about filming this video, you know, I've just got my first proper opportunity today. Kids are back at school, Mark's in the office in Manchester, it's just me and the pets in today, and if I look semi-distracted, it's because the window cleaner man turned up before and he did the front of the house and then disappeared, and normally I let him through to go to the back, but I'm not really sure what's going on. So I'm just trying to crack on because I haven't got all day and I need to get on with it. But what I was going to say, if you fancy getting yourself a brew, feel free to pause the video and go and get yourself one. It's a really chilly day today here. It's been snowing on and off recently, and it's frustrating really, because what I would give for this to happen just over Christmas for once, it's always like a week out. And it's really frustrating, but it's January, isn't it? Now, I started this series of videos that I would update semi-regularly about like month by month stuff, because it sort of got me that I was no longer in a position to really keep you updated if you want to watch these videos, that is. YouTube kind of seems to be this old platform that a lot of us were sort of introduced to back in its infancy, and like a lot of us have got like a soft spot for, but I don't find it to be the same as what it used to be when things like Reels and TikTok exist and that sort of thing. So that is the majority of where my work is now. That's the majority of where like my content is, but I feel like I still want to do YouTube because it's a big part of my story. And I started doing these updates because I used to update you week by week with pregnancy, and then I used to update you week by week with like babies and that sort of thing. Whereas now I'm a middle mum. I'm somewhere in between. I don't have super old kids, but I don't have super young kids anymore. We're very established in our like life and where we're at, and we have a very sort of like fixed routine. The kids have got their own things going on, and I just kind of slot in really, as I feel like we do as parents. But I've started these updates and I mean to continue them, and what I really wanted to do at the end of the year was do a final update of where I'm at, this, that and the other. But in a way, part of me is quite glad that I didn't, because I was feeling the emotions in December, and I am feeling them now, truth be told. But we'll get into that. So as we always do with these, I kind of update you on life and how things have been and like what my plans are and stuff. Christmas was fab. November and December were the busiest months I've ever had work-wise, which is amazing, because at the beginning of this series last year, one of my hopes and dreams, like I had a few, didn't I? I really wanted to get back on it with like work and let myself succeed. I think I held back for a while because there was just a lot of stuff that I felt like I needed to work on with like healing myself, like my antidepressants, that sort of thing. You know, going through that, I recognised that I was not in the best place, and that like pushing myself online was not necessarily the right thing for me to do. Whereas this year I've really tried, I've really, you know, I've worked so hard, and I'm so proud that the last like couple of months were the most successful I've literally ever had. I am so proud of that. And like, you know what, like if you're in my community, feel free to tell me what you're proud of. Feel free to tell me about things that have been going your way and what have been, you know, what is great about you, because I want to hear that. Sorry, the window cleaner came back. I saw him moving and then I heard noise, but he's not rang the doorbell yet. I have to like let him in through the side so we can do the back, and it distracts me. Plus it's like so awkward because like I don't want him to think I'm like filming like OnlyFans or something, because I mean that wouldn't go well for me, that career path, I don't feel. Anyway, we're just gonna keep talking until you ring the doorbell. But yeah, I want you to feel like you can be in my company and talk about stuff you're really proud of. I think sometimes as women we feel like we have to downplay everything, and I'm not really about that, because like I feel like sometimes we've got to be proud of ourselves and we've got to like acknowledge ourselves first. It's great when other people give you that recognition, but I'm not about seeking approval anymore. Like, I'm about like, oh yeah, I feel good about me, and that's an amazing thing. There's the doorbell. I'm back. Honestly, I will always be an awkward person. Like, if you are in my house doing work, or if you are outside my house, I guarantee I will just be perpetually awkward forever. Even though I might be paying you for a service or something, I'm not gonna know what to do with myself in my own home. I just don't, it makes me feel so uncomfortable. Anyway, I can't honestly remember where I was up to, but yeah, it went really well in December, but it was very, very, very busy. And that kind of led me to a point where like, I just did not physically have enough time to do all of those things that I wanted to do, whilst also having the December that I would like to have, like that countdown to Christmas. Oh, I miss it already. I do. We had a lovely Christmas. We hosted. It was very, very busy in the run up. Just like the amount of prep work, you forget. There were 12 of us. You know, I can make a roast dinner with my eyes closed. That is not a problem. Like, cooking doesn't intimidate me, but it's just the pressure of wanting to make things perfect for other people that does. I put an immense amount of pressure on myself, but it went really, really well. We had a lovely time. It was really nice to have Nana here and look after her and care for her and just give her a bit of sparkle back. And I think that meant a lot to her. And everyone seemed to have a really, really lovely time. We really enjoyed ourselves. And we normally have Boxing Day on our own because of mainly co-parenting. It's really, really difficult. So I need to give you all of this information, but sometimes I feel like it's nice to sort of give a background to situations, because everybody's life is different, and like the way that we work through things is we all do it in different ways. But Bill's with me pretty much full time now. He lives here like 100% of the time. That's a choice of his own. It just kind of, his dad lives like 45 minutes to an hour depending on traffic away, and Bill's setup is here, his school is here, his friendship group is here, and that's a decision that kind of came with him growing up. And I've always said like very much that like I just wanted him to be happy. Like, co-parenting can be really tough, but I think as long as your children are happy, then you're bossing it. And sometimes you've got to take those sacrifices for yourself, don't you? And in the early stages, as much as I would have liked to have kept him all to myself, that's not what was best for my child. And now we just listen to Bill. Like, Bill's got another little brother now who will be coming up to maybe 5 months old, something like that. 4 months old. And so he sees his dad kind of like with like swim training, or he'll go on like little day trips out and stuff, but he doesn't stay over anymore. But we still obviously like appreciate the importance of sharing Christmas. It's so important to be able to see all aspects of your family and feel loved, and you know, that's what Christmas is about. So he prefers to have Christmas Day with us, mainly because he wants to be with Daisy and Stanley, and that's a preference he's had for quite a long time now. And then on Boxing Day, he will go and see his dad's side of the family, and he's got like a new little brother over there, so that's really nice. And then he gets to sort of do it all over again. But because of the complexities of that, and because he never stays over anymore, we still need to be here for when he comes back. And then we normally will just have a day where we relax for a little bit, and the younger two get to play with their toys, this, that and the other. And there's always been something that we've done, and everyone's kind of like gone about and done their own different things. But this year my auntie really wanted to try and have us all together, and I got to go and see my cousins as well, which was really exciting because I'd not seen them for a while, because we're all big and grown up now. Hi Romeo, you absolutely speak to me then. So that was lovely. We spent a really nice time with them, and then we still got back for when Bill was going to come home, which was good. And then the next day we went and did like Christmas round 2 or 3, I guess, with Mark's family. And on Mark's side of the family as well, there's complexities there because his sister and her husband, they co-parent. his children with his ex, so they have their own things going on as well, and they've got like other family members that they like to make sure are taken care of, so it just kind of works in that way, and best, it just kind of works better for everyone. So yeah, we find that Christmas is very much a in out, shake it all about kind of thing for us. Like, we do try and make sure we get around to everyone, and it's just full of travel and different houses and different people and spending time together, and it is really lovely. It means a lot to me, and I really enjoyed myself. It was actually nice this Christmas because I wasn't poorly for once. Touch wood, that doesn't come on now. Like, I feel like we've all had the sniffles and the snuffles. And to be honest, I feel like I'm that sort of person that kind of has some sort of seasonal allergy going on all the time. Like, I always seem to be congested, and I will never understand why that is or what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, and yeah, we had a fab time. We had a few days in between where we just did absolutely nothing, which was great. Oh my God, it was so nice just to have a few days. I didn't even like wear my Apple Watch, which, if you've known me for any length of time, this is surgically attached to me at this point for the most part. And we just rested, we spent time together as a family, we watched movies, we played, we coloured, we did all these lovely things, and it just fills your cup. And the only hard part about it is that's kind of the way that you just sort of want to live life sometimes, but society doesn't always let you. Not to say that I don't appreciate the semblance of a routine, because routine is good for us, and I like working and I like being busy. It's good for me mentally. But it was so nice to just be that mum where my kids asked me if I could do something, and the first thing I could say was yes. Not like in a minute, or I've just got to finish this piece of work, or this, that and the other, or like, you know, when you're like back at school and already I'm like, guys, have you brushed your teeth? Have you got your coats? Do you want to come and get your shoes and coats on? And I hate that I'm like demand focused again of them and like trying to hurry them along through life, and it just feels like, no, I want to slow down. But Christmas was lovely. And then we got on to New Year. So this year, we hosted my dad's 60th last year, which was lovely. But this year he wanted something just a bit more low-key, like 61. He was like, no, I'm not asked, I just want to stay in. Me and your mum are going to have like a takeaway or something. And so everyone kind of did their own thing. So we went to go and see our friends, which we kind of always see our friends on New Year's Eve. We just might run on afterwards because I always have to make sure that I'm spending time with my dad and stuff. So we did go and visit my mum and dad. We took his presents around and stuff, and then we headed round to our friends. And that night was, well, that whole night really was the night and day of torrential rain. It was horrific. We went to the cinema during the afternoon before we went to go and see everyone. What did we watch? We watched Paddington 2 because that won by a vote, because Stan was not keen on watching Moana, which is mad, because if you remember any of my older videos, he used to be obsessed with Moana and knew all the words when he was like 2 or 3. How times change. So we went and saw Paddington 2, which was wicked, by the way. Really good film. And then we were just stuck in this horrific rain, and I was just thinking the whole like way home, like, oh God, I've got to get ready and get my glad rags on, and then we've got to go out and that. And obviously we were going to have like a few drinks and stuff. So what we ended up doing was driving to my mum's and my dad's, and which was really close to our friends, and leaving our car there, and like just my mum dropped us at their door so we didn't get soaked, and then we did walk home. But we had a lovely time. We had so much fun, and we played is it called Juice Box or something on the TV? It's like an app basically where you all log in with your phone and you play the games. And with my group of friends anyway, it has a tendency to get a little bit like dirty sense of humour, but we had such a good time. The kids were all playing, the drinks were flowing, it was lovely. And then we did the countdown, and all day, like for the couple of days in the run up to New Year's Eve, I was just feeling a little bit weird. Like I was feeling like unsettled, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. And then I was talking to my auntie, and I was just sort of like reading a few things. I think when you, and obviously I feel like it's obvious to you that I'm probably going to touch upon grief here, but when you are going through grief, you'll probably find that your feeds and your algorithms and your FYP start to share content with you that resonates. And I saw something that resonated, and I really needed to see it because I just was feeling really weird about going into a year that my granddad will never ever be a part of. Like, it's a year I cannot share with him, and he was only in 2024 for 18 days, but he's never going to be in this one. And that was hurting, and I was fine, like it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, and gave Mark a kiss and I cuddled my children and hugged my friends and hugged my friends' kids. one of my friend's little boys just ran at me and went, Happy New Year, Charlotte, and I was like, oh my god, I love him. But it was lovely. And then I was sat there, and then Auld Lang Syne came on the telly. Don't know if we were watching like Sophie Ellis Bextor or something like that, and all of a sudden I started crying, and it was really like, you know, when you're embarrassed because it just completely overcomes you. And I went and gave Mark a hug, and then I just sort of like stepped out into the kitchen just for a breather, because it was hard. And I hated that I felt that way in that moment, because I wanted to be like, yay, 2025, but it was painful. I'm still learning that. You lose them over and over again. And you kind of have to learn to accept that sometimes it's going to take you completely by surprise. And, you know, I often wonder, because I only have one experience of this so far, if his loss has hit me hardest because it's the first time I've gone through it, and I always feel like I should apologize for talking about how I feel, or sometimes I worry if you're watching this and think, oh, you should just be over this by now, it's nearly been a year. But in so many ways, like when you first lose someone, you get to a point where you think, I just don't want to feel like this anymore, and like maybe it will get better. Everyone says it will get better. So you start looking forward to feeling less heavy with grief. And then you have moments where you realise that actually grief just completely coexists alongside joy and excitement and happiness and all these pleasurable emotions, but it can just still be there. It's not everything, but it's there. And you learn to live with it. But then when you do get to big milestones or anniversaries, like the anniversary of his death is the 18th of January, I know I'm going to find it hard, and for some reason my heart and my emotions have gone back a bit recently, but I think that is normal, and I think that is okay. And I think sometimes you just need to give yourself the space to just feel, because the real reason why we're here is not, you know, to buy the latest clothes, it's not to have the biggest house, it's not to have all of these things, it's to love. It's to spend time with people, it's to fall in love, it's to feel love in all of its different ways. And obviously when we lose a big part of our family, there's nothing greater a loss than that. And I think that I feel like I have learned a lot about that over the past year. And so for 2025, obviously, I still have the anticipatory grief that I've spoken about before, where I have fear of loss now. I'm very frightened, actually, and sometimes it can take over my mind a lot. But what I am trying to optimistically sort of pray and hope for is the chance to just have a really simple year. I don't even need it to be exciting. I don't need it to be super magical and special. I don't need to hit big milestone. I made a little reel yesterday, posted it, and I said in that I wanted the most precedented year ever. Not unprecedented, precedented. I want everything to go the way I would just expect it to, which is a big ask of life. And I'm aware that hope is, I'm going to be disappointed at some point. But I just hope for health and happiness and time more than anything else. Do I have resolutions? No. I just want to take it at my pace. Another thing I spoke about in that reel was this concept of we all grow and change as people. We all grow and change. We have the right to. We have the right to change our mind. We have the right to evolve. We have the right to change as people. Sometimes we'll change for the better. Sometimes we'll make mistakes, and sometimes it'll be for the worse. But inherently the majority of us are good and decent people, and we always have that ability to pull it back, and we are not a list of mistakes or a list of failures. We're just people, we're just works of art, and on the day that we are finished and we are gone. But the beauty of it, I feel, is the passing of time and life. And I don't want to be put in a situation where I feel like I have to change or fix things just because it's January. I think the me of 2024 definitely has a place in 2025. She doesn't have to be anything other than herself. And if she chooses to change, it's because she wants to, or, you know, something's happening and she's really enjoying it and she's pursuing it further. Like, am I still going to be at the gym and working out and looking after my body 100%? Because for me, I want to be healthy. I really want to live a good life. I want to be around for my kids as much as possible. And I wasn't healthy before. That's me talking about my personal circumstances, by the way. It's not passing a judgment on anybody else. It's just how I felt in my body. But I feel so much better. And I think even, I don't like to before and after. I don't like to compare myself. But bloody doorbell. I'm back. I had to close one of the blinds because the sun on the snow, like, you know when it hurts your eyes? I thought I was going blind for a second. I moan about the doorbell, but it was a package from me. So Daisy's got a birthday party at the weekend with one of her besties, and she loves cats and has asked for some Afmau glitter edition Meows. They're like a collectible plushy thing. She loves cats. So they have come, and I'm going to pair them up with some like candy kittens, so it's like cat themed. I'm going to try and find some cat wrapping paper just because I think it will make Poppy really happy. Where was I? So yeah, fitness. It was a big deal to me last year to find myself again, which sounds corny as hell, but really, really true. I just spent a lot of time feeling lost and not myself, and just sort of, I felt like I was spending all this time with this person which was meant to be me, but I just didn't recognize it at all. And I had sort of started the work with my mental health and then emerged and felt like I think I could do more to make myself feel better. And my health was one of the deciding factors. Like, I didn't want to be out of breath. I was just feeling really like uncomfortable. I didn't feel as fit as I used to. I didn't feel as mobile as I used to. Mobile as I used to. And I just felt really just uncomfortable in my skin. And I wanted to be able to like run around again, run up the stairs, go and do something and not feel like, oh, I can't be bothered. And I really feel like I achieved it in the past year. I feel so much better. I am obsessed with working out. Not to the point where I don't think I'm ever going to do those photos where like I twist and do the glute. You know the pose, you know the thing I mean. But I do feel very much like I have a place at my local gym. I feel very much like I fit in there. I don't feel intimidated. I go in, I do what I came there to do, and I go home and I usually feel a million times better afterwards. The high I get from working out, I cannot compare it to anything else. It makes me feel so good. I'm going again tomorrow. Can't wait. And that's another thing. In December, I found it a lot harder to work out because of how busy I was with work. Like I worked every weekend from like September onwards. Every single weekend I had work to do, and some weekends it was like just all day, just cramming. Whereas now I feel like I'm really fortunate to have that flexibility back, and I can get my routine back, and I really cannot wait to just get stuck in because I've missed it over Christmas. I enjoyed the break and I did rest and did like at home workouts and stuff, but I've missed the gym and I'm really excited to be back at it. And it's really nice just to be in a place where I just feel like I've got my sparkle back and my confidence back, and it just feels so nice to finally be a person that feels more like, I feel more like whole again. I feel like more like me again. And it's really, I feel like it's a gift to be able to start a new year and feel that way. I've never been a massive resolutions person, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that 2024 was kind of a year where I realised that I had a lot of things that I needed to sort out just for the benefit of myself, not to change or fix myself to fit in or this, that and the other. It was for me. And I think maybe that might be the biggest difference in why I succeeded, because it was more about my health and my benefits and like my own personal success at work and stuff. Whereas previously I think I'd always been changing to fit in, and I don't really want to fit in anymore. I've realised that over the years, is that I'm not bothered about, I cannot physically be top notch to every person in the world, because we all have preferences. There are certain personality traits that don't gel with mine and I don't really enjoy being around. And it goes for everybody. So my goals for this year are just to soak it up, have a peaceful life. I have no desire to do anything big or change anything right now. That might change. I might look at my garden in the spring and be like, I hate it, which is what I often do, because it just, oh God, it looks so bad. Once winter comes around, I just neglect it. I come back in spring and I'm like, oh, I love gardening, but only when it's warm, not when it's raining or cold. I'm a fair weather friend. So that is like probably the next thing that I'll be interested in. I always get really interested in a house in the autumn winter months because we're in it more, and then the second it warms up again, I'm like, hate everything outside, need to change it all. We'd really like to do up our garden and have like, you know, like not decking but a patio or something, but we just never had like the funds to do so with like the extension and then just like other things. But to be honest, we've got a holiday booked in August and I'm happy to have that one thing to look forward to. What a privilege, what a joy, what a nice thing in life to have. And the rest, I just want to be gently carried on life's wave. I don't want a tsunami. I don't want to go under. I don't want to drown. Equally, I don't want to do a cool little somersault on the back of a surfboard. I just want to float down a lazy river this year. And we will see. We will see how that goes. But I will keep you updated. I will keep checking in. Oh, it's snowing. Tell you what, let me show you on my other camera. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to film it for you. I'm aware that you've probably all seen snow before, but I'm a sharer, okay? But, oh, isn't that lovely? It was so sunny a second ago, and now it is super snowy. And I've got a little cat with me, which is unusual because he doesn't normally sit with me. It's normally Elsa. He likes to go and sit in Bill's bedroom, but for some reason he's come to find me today, haven't you? Are you watching the snow too? But yeah, if I can leave you with one piece of wisdom, do not feel like you need to change or be anything this year. You don't need to have new stuff. You don't need to overhaul yourself. You don't need to go drive. You don't want to. My birthday's in January. I'm going out for drinks with my friends. 3 of us have birthdays in January, so we're all going out on a collective couples like date night, which I'm really looking forward to. And you best believe I'm going to raise a toast to myself. Anyway, I am going to love you and leave you. You go and have a lovely rest of your day, whatever you are up to. I'm sorry for being a big old corny cow like I normally am. I can't help it. This is who I am. And yeah, I will see you all very soon. Hopefully, when I check in February, we'll be feeling as ever as optimistic. I might have something fun to tell you. We'll see. But the snow is coming down really heavy, guys, and it's really beautiful. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.